Naweza kuaje hapa?
Kora siria ke mdenyo ugo mwasi nyoga korwa testa. Bruce Willis hivi. Uko poa? Uko poa. Ramani uko ocha.
Ego thie Nairobi.
Na Nairobi nikuo koma thina na mirimo cituraga. Ni uyu uko.
Jua Nairobi kutoboa hadi Ganges.
Natafuta ka life.
Atukindi life hapa.
Unaweza ni organize ya wax?
Unajua Gaza uradi ni maspia hapa. Lakini kuna mambo kichuri, manyapundes.
I want an audition.
Ndio bila dogo. Hii lazima ka nice.
Pia amebonga. Jalu ile daga liliko.
Na jaidunga, jaichapia ndai live.
Ndio maana jaishika kiso. It's not about punishing them. It's about giving them a wake-up call.
That guy's not a man. That's why I like him. Beast. Wanadai at showbiz 50-50.
Na tukiwakausha.
Sisi watu, si ni maiti.
It feels like I have to live two different people every day.
All right, Nairobi Half-Life, I hope you remember it because tonight here in studio we have the director with us. We want to be discussing the issue of the film industry in Kenya, especially in more relation to young people and what we're doing with this platform. So allow me to introduce our guest this evening, Tosh Gitonga, who is the director of Nairobi Half-Life. Asante sana, thank you for coming. That was an amazing movie, might I just add?
Asante.
All right, and Asili, on your end?
Mimi nangoja kwanza kuona movie yake next. Nasikia kuna series kwanza.
You'll tell us more about it.
Na unajua watu wengi wanapenda films na series, lakini uchalili meet some few years back. Sai he's part of the committee of the East Africa Student Film Festival. Na pia he's an upcoming director and also an actor. Ukitaka pia unaweza muita George ama George baba yao ama pia unaweza muita Batman. Mimi muita Batman. So karibu sana.
All right, so George, very quickly, I would like to start with you because, like he said, you're part of the East African Film Student Festival. Yeah. We showcased it here last week. What do you think the response of young people, especially students, is, the attitude rather, towards the film industry in Kenya?
Actually, the thing is, there are so many people, there are so many aspiring filmmakers, but after the experience through East Africa Student Film Festival, and it took us a whole year to organize the whole thing, I think the word aspiring should be cut off because these are people who are actual filmmakers. There were even films that even the jurors, and the jurors consisted of people who have what to say, who are stakeholders in the industry. We had people from Zamaradi Productions, Api Matere, people like those. They were shocked that the productions were done by students. Even they had to check multiple times, and after that experience I can't say it's aspiring, the actual filmmakers out there.
So there's some sort of a positive attitude towards our industry from students.
There is.
So you say that it's making the event in itself was such a huge challenge.
Yes,
1 year. What do you think the other challenges are for young people who are trying, or rather who are really trying to uphold our film industry in Kenya?
Basically there is one underlying challenge, I could say, even as a filmmaker individually, and it's money.
Money.
It's just that simple. It's money. It's not about the talent. The talent is there, the creativity is there, but it's just money. Because usually when we make films, utaona mtu ametafuta beshte yake na camera, his friends are the ones acting.
Mimi nataka kuuliza Tosh swali moja. Shida ni do ama ideas? Kwa sababu most of the guys tulienda kwa streets kubongesha, there is nothing that can stop a good idea, not even money. So hapo hivyo nilikuwa nataka kujua wasi wengi wanasema productions zetu ziko chini in terms of ideas, hata si story na do ama venye set na kama kitu kama hiyo. Unaweza pia changia?
I'll say it in a different way. It's not money. It's business. The film industry in Kenya is not reached to a point where it's seen as a business. And it goes back, there's a lot of factors. It's part of the creative industry, which has never really been recognized as business in this country. Is it a hobby, music ni hobby, you know, your folks don't think that it's a career, and so does a lot of the other sectors. So when it's not seen as a business, of course there's no money. There are no investors going to invest into that, into something that is not a business that will make returns. So we have reached a point that we do have filmmakers. We have a lot of stories to be told, countless. But we now need to, even as Kenya, as the audience itself, we need to start appreciating that it takes a lot of work and resources to make these films, and stop the culture of wanting things for free. You know, utapata watu hiyo ni ya Kenya. Nita download wapi? You know, no one wants to, you know, pay for it. But if people start paying and appreciating, then we'll be able to, you know, get the money back and make films and keep making them better and better and better. That's how Nollywood has grown, Hollywood.
But is it true that to make film in a Kogadomo?
It's a very expensive affair. You know, to make a film is not easy. You know, if you want the kind of quality, say, Nairobi Half-Life, you have to shoot with a good camera. The camera alone that we shot with Nairobi Half-Life, to buy it, we're talking at least with all the accessories, it'll cost almost 50 million.
Say what?
50
You know,
million.
yes, with all the lenses. So you can imagine how much it is to hire that camera for your movie. So it's impossible, you know.
A return of investment? Would you say fine 50 million to make a movie of such good quality like Nairobi Half-Life, return of investment? Do you
If
still
it's
see
distributed, if it's distributed in a proper way across the world, and that's why I am pushing for. If you look at Hollywood works because it's many states together. So they're talking about 300 million people, and film to them is a huge thing. I've been to a small town in America, and the first thing I saw was a cinema before even a supermarket.
True.
So if we can build the creative industry to that level, it'll become a business, man. With 1 billion people in Africa.
Tosh and George, I have to ask this. YouTube is still one of it's such a huge platform, especially for film directors or just content producers. So you have a producer who has come up with a movie or a film, they shoot it, and they put it on YouTube. Classic example is Array with Insecure, and that's when HBO took it up. So what are your feelings towards producers who put their content on YouTube?
You see, the advantage YouTube has is that as long it qualifies anyone who puts up a video as a content generator. By virtue of even shooting with your phone, a birthday or something, it makes you a content generator. But you see, everyone has gone to YouTube. Everyone and anyone can go to YouTube. So getting the attention that you want becomes quite a task, which means gathering views and things like those. But then again, there's the advantage of streaming services.
So how do you compete with that, Tosh?
It goes back to put more, let me put it this way. Look at brands, yeah? A Gucci shoe or a Gucci bag will cost a lot of money, right? But why? It's the quality that has gone into that. You know, the kind of material, the kind of time taken, you know, to do the same. Now, I keep saying, and I've been accused of what I think is called elitist filmmaking, which I find sad. You know, if I aspire for good sound, it's got nothing to do with, you know, it's Kuringa. See, yeah, you know, if I aspire for quality picture, or if I say, let's spend time to make sure that this script, you know, makes sense. You know, like now I have a film coming out. It's taken me over a year. You know, just going into it, like, no, not yet. You know, you sleep on it, you come back, you find a hole, you fix that hole. So if we take that time to create something that people can, when they take the time to go and watch, they're like, okay, that's value. You know, it's not just about I'm a filmmaker, let me shoot something. You know, people have they're exposed to quality. You know, we're living in an age now of a digital space where you get things like this, you know, content like this. So for us filmmakers here in Kenya, I think it's high time now we spend a lot more time before rushing to, you know, I'm shooting a film and putting it out there. Take your time. You know, people are not going anywhere. Deliver something where you feel that I've done my best. And if you get criticized, you know, at least for you, you know, that was my best.
Kuna kitu nilikuwa nataka kuuliza. Nigerians wanatushindia nini? Because there is a time they were second after Hollywood. Hata walibeat Bollywood kwa ratings na kila kitu na sales. So Nigerians wanatushindia nini? Population ama interest?
Two things.
Kwa sababu ukiangalia kitu kama YouTube inataka wasi wengi wenye wanatumia internet. Nigeria is number 1. It beats all other African nations. So mimi ningependa kujua hawa Nigeria wame understand kitu fulani yenye si tu understand. Na ni kuanzia kitambo wakati books zilikuwa ndio the medium of exchange ya cultures, walikuwa bado wanatubeat na authors. Lakini sasa hii tunataka kujua exactly. Sasa tumekuja kwa film, sasa technology pia si tuko rada, lakini wana Nigeria wanatubeat nini?
Nigeria is two things. One, they're extremely proud of themselves. Extremely. That's one. So they take their own. You know, they consume their own. And that support for their own industry is huge. Number two, they understand the business aspect of it. So they don't first care about, you know, all the other things. Let's get this stuff out. You know, people want to consume. And when people have consumed, you know, let's keep getting better. And that's what's happening to Nollywood. If you notice now, there's a lot of films coming out of Nollywood that the quality has gone up. The stories have become better because now they have that base that they built from the beginning of just churning stuff out.
Let's talk about the government involvement in the film industry. George, do you think that they are doing enough to support the film industry in Kenya? For two reasons. One, we saw back in 2013, Governor Alfred Mutua of Machakos saying, I will build Machawood on about 50 acres. And it's going to promote arts, film, our talent industry, and make it a hub not only here in Kenya, but within the African continent. Do you feel like the government involvement is there? Do you feel their support?
I would first start by saying, first of all, I will say they are trying because, like for instance, in the East Africa Student Film Festival, the KFCB was the major partner, and they really helped in pushing the agenda for students to express themselves through film. So that's a plus, that they are trying, not only just grown people, but students, people who really want to take this thing seriously as a career.
Right.
They supported students. But on the other hand though, there is still a lot to be done. Unajua tu ni film industry tu ni actors na director na producer. Mwenye anapikia watu set ni pia part of that film industry. Mwenye anasweep your floor after the set is done is still the film industry. Whoever transports those cameras where they're supposed to be. So if people think holistically about your pesa, the film industry inaleta, I think tunaweza enda far sana because it's holistic, from mwenye anapikia chakula, mwenye anahakikisha kila mtu ametibiwa, everyone amefika home safe, beyond actors, directors, producers. If people think that way from a business perspective, I think inaweza stream dogo sana.
Kujua KFCB ili support wasee wakiproduce movies ama ili support event yenu ya mwisho. Unajua kuna hii character ya sponsors kukam main event, launch, siku ya awards. Hiyo siku ndio siku wanapeana do. Sisi tunataka do day one. Like right before nimeandika script, hiyo idea ni moto. Una get? Hiyo ndio time nikienda kwa conference room, nikiingia hapo hivyo na hiyo idea, hiyo ndio period nataka do more than ever. Wacha hiyo time ati unaambiwa ni best actor. Best actor umekunywa maji huko nje, umepiga rondi mwendo mparara mdomo, umeget umepanda matka watu wengine, lakini the primary stages hawa si huko involved. Because at the end of the run, mastudio walienda huko nje wakasaka do. Ama kusa kama best ni aje bro, kuna kama nje wewe uko nayo pia mimi niko nayo, quality hata kama si the same. No wonder unaonanga kwa scene moja picture quality ni different. Si ndio? Hebu sawa niambie, wana supporting events peke yake ama wana support the whole process?
Siwezi sema about events zingine, but concerning the ESFF, your event in itself, basically walitupea the infrastructure involved kuanzia na do. Every event, as I said earlier, he used the term it being considered as a business. But what is the currency in business? Pesa, it's money. Yeah, so how KFCB came, they gave us the support financially, pia, and also the infrastructure, because let's face it, man, even in the film industry, huwezi enda watch movie ya mtu hujaisikia. Okay, ukisikia msafara fulani ya sales juu kutoka wapi versus okay wewe uko poa lakini I get it. You see, it's a business. People want to watch who they like, who they've heard about. You see, so apart from money, pia mtu akisikia this event imesupportiwa na Ezekiel Mutua, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua ama KFCB, people will get on board because that's a big brand. You see, and on top of that the financial aspect, because they did help us financially as well. Pia kuna yo aspect ya jina. The brand appeal is really important. Even I'm sure Tosh can support me in that.
Tosh, just if you could add on that also, but also the issue of taxation. Because we've talked heavily a lot about the business aspect of the film industry. There's the issue of taxation. If Angela Jolie wants to come and create a movie here, tax is not friendly. It's not friendly at all. So you find them going to South Africa, right? I know you also showcased Nairobi Half-Life in Durban. So what are your feelings towards the issue of taxation within our film industry? It sort of paralyzes us than instead of propelling us.
You're talking about tax incentives, tax rebates that are happening all over the world. Like SA has really benefited from that. We have a lot to do. We still don't have a film policy, which we're trying to get the cabinet to look at so that we can have a guiding document of how we're going to do things. Right. So we're still pushing for a film policy. Us as the industry also, we have several associations. I personally don't understand why we have to be so many associations, because the government will only listen to one voice. And that's a fact. That is a fact. That is not changing. So why can't we all come together? All these different associations come together as one, as a federation, and say, this is what we meet up, this is what we want. The government will listen, you know. Like, for example, actually the tourism industry, let me tell you a fun fact. The tourism industry in this country was single-handedly started by the film industry. The movie Out of Africa that was done here in 1988. Right. That is a single reason why our film industry shot up like that. So it's the film industry is very important. But we are still meddling, I mean, right now the IFC is happening. I attended yesterday. There's interesting conversations going on. Everybody's looking for ways, how do we deal with the new times of digital space? How do we get this film industry going? So there's hope, but I think also from our end as film makers, as the industry itself, we need to stop. There's this cry, we cry every year, the government is not supporting, the government is supporting, but we need to stop first and say, you know what, we are one people, let's come under one umbrella, and then whatever we say to the government,
we say to the one voice.
It's the industry. There is no way they will not listen to us.
All right, you seem to be agreeing with that, George, as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Very quickly before we go on a break, there's the issue of still on government support. There's a government film school that is coming up, and there's current selection ongoing. Do you think that will enhance the film industry in Kenya?
Definitely. I mean, it's capacity building. It's why everybody goes to school before you work. You can't be good if you don't know what you're doing. So it's high time we had a film school. I'm very excited about that. Young people now can choose to say, I want to be a cinematographer, I want to be a director, and straight from school go to learn that, which means in a few years, our capacity will also be very good, which is also an important factor for the big films to come. Because right now the producers in Hollywood are about saving money. So when they look at your country, they're not just looking at the rebates that the government is giving. They're looking to have to bring a whole plane load of crew to that country because I can't find a focus puller or I can't find a wardrobe assistant, you know? So if there is capacity also, it's an important aspect of it, you know? And then when they see, oh, I'm only gonna come with the director and maybe the DOP, because those are special, you know, touches to the film, you know, the people who have started with it.
George? And also to add on that, I think that the need for local content, it's a reality everyone has to face. As in, right now as we speak, the digital migration, we saw how it put everything to a standstill media-wise. Inafika point kila mtu anatafuta local content. Like stations and media outlets wanayonja, they are looking for Kenyan content, and you can't say it's not out there. It's out there. You see, and this reality will come knocking. As he said, the training institutions, yes, it's a good thing, but I think also the ones in charge, for lack of a better term, the ones in charge wanafaa kuwa aware sana, because film will be needed sooner or later. Kenyans will hunger. That's why, as you can see, most of these films are being shown in the diaspora. Even you can ask him how many awards.
Katikati.
Yes, Katikati and Nairobi Half-Life, even as an example. How many awards did it win abroad in comparison to within the country? You see.
Is Kenyan film popular in Kenya? Is it popular? Because where do you watch these movies? Tunapata wapi hizi CDs? Watu wengi wanajonga ukitaka kupata kitu na download. You get? So
that's what I said in the beginning. I said I think the biggest problem also for us is accessibility. And that's why now I'm excited about this new space of online. Like my next film, the accessibility will be very I hope you'll invite me again when I'm releasing. I come and tell you where you'll find it. But we're in a new space where we're not bogged by
mainstream
complex distribution factors. So as he said, the need for the content is there, but how do people get that content is a question.
Haya, asante sana. Lazima tuende for a short break. Tukirudi, of course, nataka pia kusikia venye streets wase wanasema, lakini conversation ni moto sana. Kama unataka kutufuata Twitter hapo hivyo #YouthCafe, of course